Hello and welcome to this devlog. My name's Lenex and I will be your game developer for tonight. Or today. I don't know what time it is for you guys right now. In the last few months since the release of my first ever game, I have really gotten into SCP. Oh, you don't know what SCP is? Well, it's... But to clarify for those that genuinely don't know, all you need to know is that in the SCP universe, there exists a shit ton of monsters and entities that really want to see your guts outside of your body. And almost all of those entities are prisoners inside the SCP facility. That is also why almost every SCP game takes place inside that facility. I mean, it makes for a great horror setting, an underground facility in which dozens of entities and monsters are trapped alongside you. And then, all of a sudden, a containment breach happens, and those monsters are free to roam around, making it your job now to escape alive. However, and this might just be me, but after playing a lot of SCP games, such as SCP Unity, SCP Secret Laboratory, and SCP-5K, just to mention a few, the entire gimmick of the game taking place inside the facility has gotten a bit too common, or shall we say, stale. Don't misunderstand. I love the setting, but I would love to see something new. That is why, in my SCP game, you are not inside the facility. But let me talk about the game now. The game I am making is called SCP VHS, and it is, as you might have guessed from the name, a found footage or VHS style game. Inside the game, you will be put into the shoes of certain people who have encountered SCPs outside of the facility before they were contained, if at all. The game will also be split into 6 parts. The reason for that also links into this next part, the SCPs. See, almost every SCP game has these mainstream SCPs. The Plague Doctor, the Statue, the Old Man, the Shy Guy, and the Blind Dog. And although all of them are really cool, for this game series I want to focus on other SCPs, ones which have not gotten the spotlight yet, even though, at least in my opinion, they really deserve it. And because I want each SCP to shine and be fully explored, I have decided to split the game and story into 6 parts, as to allow myself enough time to fully showcase these SCPs and what they can do in very specific environments. You might now be wondering, what SCPs are going to be in the series? Well, to tell you that would be quite a spoiler. However, I will reveal the SCP for this game, the first one in the series. SCP-4666. The Yule Man. This SCP is one of my all-time favorites, and I think it's not hard to see why. But enough explaining, let's actually make this game. Starting off, we are going to sculpt SCP-4666. We begin with a very rough armature, whose purpose is to set the general body shape of the SCP. We can then turn this armature into a base mesh, which we will sculpt on and modify. Sadly, I didn't fully record this entire process, but please enjoy this 2-hour time-lapse of me working on the body and the face. And this is what it looks like so far. Not too bad for my first proper sculpture, but as you can probably tell, it's far from done. We still need to finish sculpting all the details, retopologize the mesh so it can be used in-game, texture the model to make it look realistic and, well, actually good, and give it bones to animate in Blender, so still a lot to do. However, sadly, my free trial for ZBrush expired, so until I buy the full version, let's work on some actual gameplay. I have recently played Amnesia the Bunker as well as watched a lot of videos on Alien Isolation, so for the gameplay I want to go for stealth/survival horror game style. So I quickly made a first-person character, added a VHS filter, head bobbing, a really simple flashlight, and some sound effects as well as dynamic footsteps, which together looks and sounds like this. I then made these items, which are fully modular, so I can change anything on them, such as the mesh size, collision size, and position of overlays, as well as the ID of the item, which is pretty important, believe it or not. After that was done, I reworked the flashlight, cause I really didn't like it. The new flashlight works in a really interesting way. You see, this flashlight has a charge. This charge allows the flashlight to actually work. As you use it, that charge will go down. Depending on how low the charge is, the light of the flashlight will be stronger or weaker, with 3 levels of intensity to inform you of how low the charge actually is currently. If the charge runs fully out, the flashlight turns off. But by simply pressing R, you can recharge it, which might take a few seconds. I stole... I borrowed this idea from Amnesia the Bunker, and honestly, I really love this kind of flashlight. It's really fucking cool, let's be honest. Up next was another fun part, which is making the environment. As the SCP for this game is SCP-4666, a Christmas-themed monster, I went with a snowy/winter environment. This involved me finding good snow textures, making the rough terrain, and adding trees to flesh it all out. I then also made and added some snow visual effects to really make it seem like winter and Christmassy time. And I'm honestly quite happy with the results. I think it turned out looking really good for my first proper environment. Up next was probably the most important part of the game, the SCPs AI. See, for this game, I want the SCP to do a bit more than just walk around and chase the player. I wanted this SCP, or this AI, to be an active threat, something to constantly watch out for as you're playing through the game. Something to really put you on the edge, similar to how the alien was in Alien Isolation. But achieving that in blueprints was really unrealistic. However, luckily, Unreal Engine has something called a behavior tree. A behavior tree, for those that don't know, is basically another way to tell an AI what its job and actions are and when to do what. Plus, it is highly customizable. So, after watching more than a few videos on how to create a behavior tree, I eventually created this. This behavior tree works currently in a really simple way. The AI starts with roaming around the map, moving from node to node. If at any point it hears a noise, it will stop moving and then make its way to the location of the noise. Once there, it searches the area, and if it finds nothing, it will return to roaming. If at any point it sees the player, it will start chasing them until it loses them or kills them. Losing the player meaning it returns to roaming. So although right now it is quite simple, I have big plans for it and will add a few more features to really make this AI a genuine threat in the game, and something you will really want to avoid at any and all costs. Oh yeah, I also added saving and loading to the game. So the game actually saves what items you have picked up, your objective progress, where you are on the map, and what state the SCP is in and where it is. Basically saving everything. I also spent a lot of time making the settings menu for the game to actually have proper options for gameplay, audio, and video settings, and ensuring it all works together with the saving and loading system I made. Overall, development has been really smooth so far, considering I've only been working on this project for around 2 weeks now at the time of this recording, and I have not run into any major issues or setbacks yet, which I hope continues, by the way. The game is far from done, as I still need to make the environment better, refine some gameplay mechanics, finish the SCP model and its animations and sound effects, add NPCs, voice lines, subtitles, and all relevant sound effects and cutscenes for the game. But so far, this game is already seemingly turning out way better than my previous game, which makes me very happy. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. If you have any suggestions on what else to add to the game or what I could change to improve it, do let me know in the comments. But that is all from me for now. Until next time, goodbye.